Welcome, foolish mortals, to Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. I am your host, Count Simon Gauntly, and each episode I'll be leading you on a journey through the history of film. Specifically, we'll be exploring that eldritch abyss known as the public domain. These are films forgotten by time or abandoned by their creators. The strange, the horrifying, the poorly and cheaply produced. All of these are the purviews of the public domain. So what are we waiting for? Come, join me in my crypt. It's bigger on the inside. Come, join me.
There lived a man so long ago, Count Gauntly was his name. His horror host abilities had brought him wide acclaim. The people flocked from miles around each Gauntly movie night, not knowing that the films he showed infringed on copyright. Upon discovering this fact and learning it was true, an angry mob of lawyers formed with pitchforks, torches too. They tracked the Count and sought to stop his movie hosting ways, and torches blazing put an end to Gauntly's earthly days. But our man was too resilient to let death be the last word. He stirred, sat up upon his slab and vowed he must be heard. So he stocked his tomb with gadgets from the local studio, intent on showing movies on an awesome TV show. But he had to find a legal way, so Gauntly racked his brain. 'Twas then he learned of something called the public domain. Now here he is, the time has come, his dreams are coming true. Count Gauntly's here to share a film in hopes that you won't sue.
So, how you doing, Ogrot?
It's a long day, long week, long month.
Yeah, it's been a long year. Oh, whoa, wait a minute.
It's been a long time.
It has. Hello. Welcome to, Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. Ogrot and I are just broing out here in a heretofore unseen corner of the crypt. It feels like it's been a while.
Yes, it has. Why are they here? Is it that time of the
Oh,
month
it's a good-
already?
Whoa, it is our time of the month. It's
What
time
month is it?
Wait, it's coming up on Halloween. It's Halloween time. Oh, what are we gonna do? We're not ready yet. There's nothing here. There's no Halloween stuff.
Where do we get?
Okay, well, what's the main thing? We got pumpkins. I think if we look around, there's gotta be pumpkins around here somewhere that we can scrounge up. You go get on that. We're gonna get you a good Halloween, I promise. I promise we're gonna do that, because we're the Halloween guys. I mean, we gotta be ready. And seeing as it's September 9th, we've got just enough time, so, okay. Oh, excellent, bring those over here.
I've got fine large orange vesicle of
show
seed.
those off. Okay.
We find these in backyard under father's grave.
Yes, good. Ogrot's always got family members who can die and hook us up and get us ready for the episode. So we got some gourds here. So, Ogrot, you're gonna sit here, you're gonna take care of these gourds, start carving these. I'm gonna go get the crypt ready, that's what I'm gonna do. And, decorations, we just gotta let the world know that it's Halloween. And so...
We must hurry. We must not sleep.
Okay, you go. You take care of those, you carve those. Go.
Okay, all right, bring it in. Yeah, okay, that's good. Now, bring it in. Perfect, excellent, okay, great. That was a big step there, thank you. Big doings here in the crypt. That month flew by, and we're just now coming up on the final touches for our Halloween preparations. There are still some important things missing. Two that I can think of. There's still no Ogrot. There's still no pumpkins from Ogrot. He said he was working on making them perfect. You know, a whole month has elapsed, so we must have something good. But hopefully they're here soon. Because I mean, what's Halloween with no jack-o'-lanterns? The candy, we have that covered, sure, but I feel like there's still some stuff we don't quite have yet. So Huh. Hello? Oh. It's that time again, is it? Well, okay. Yeah? Oh. That's not very good news at all. Yeah, happy Halloween to you too. Ugh. Hey, get up. We got some work to do. Some bad news just came in, folks, from Inspector Carlos Borloff of the Horror Host Underground. As it's Halloween time again, our annual inspection came up, and now they got this new technology. They can survey us just by watching. You know, they signed on with the NSA, and now they're just in crypts all over the nation, just looking in. And according to Mr. Borloff's checklist, we have some Halloween necessities which are as of yet lacking. We've got no sidekick, at least not one who talks. We got no music going. We got this nice keyboard here. Nobody's playing it. We got candy, sure, but there's no costume trick-or-treaters. There's no pumpkins. That was the big thing. The big deal breaker is we need pumpkins. Where is Ogrot with those things? We got to have them. But now here's the rub, is that without those things, the crypt has been condemned. We're no longer officially sanctioned by the Horror Host Underground. And so I'm afraid the order has come down from the top that we gotta board it up. It's condemned, so we gotta mark it off. Yep. It's a sad day. Didn't think we'd ever have to do this. Just gonna have to find some other way to celebrate Halloween, I suppose, without our crypt. Here. Yeah, that'll about do it, I suppose. I don't know what we're going to do.
My friend Gauntly.
Oh, hey.
What?
Hey, critic.
Whatever is happening here? I mean, you look so dejected, and the crypt, it just looks like it's wrapped up in tape. What's going on?
Well, we've been condemned.
Condemned?
The higher-ups, the powers that be among the horror host elite.
No.
Yep, they've deemed us unfit to broadcast.
So you're just giving up?
We're missing some vital criteria, man.
Well, that's not the Gauntly I know.
Can't operate without a license. You think I'm some fly-by-night ne'er-do-well? No, I comply with code.
But the Gauntly I know is a Gauntly who would find the heart of Halloween, find the spooky spirit, and bring it back to his crypt. Let's not just give up on this wonderful crypt. Let's throw a Halloween party and bring it back.
I say you're right. I like the cut of your jib. Let's where did you come with anybody, or are you just down here by yourself?
Well,
or?
I was just at a gathering. Perhaps I can go recruit some of them.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Hey, yeah, there's some other folks out there. So I'm gonna bring them in. You know,
to start us off, showing our dedication to Halloween spirit and really driving home that we are worthy and we are capable of putting on a satisfactory television program here, Horror Host Show. We're going to bring the guests through in a costume promenade. And so here, this is a familiar-looking gentleman. What's your costume all about?
Well, I was just visiting my uncle, Gobernador Teleronio, and he gave me this wonderful gift, and I think it's quite nice, don't you? But yes, I have to admit, when I got back from my trip, I did not expect all of this. This is quite a sad thing, even on Halloween. But, oh well, I suppose we can just carry on as before. I mean, who needs licenses anyway, right? It's just about having a good time.
Absolutely. Now we'll bring the next guest in. Actually, what's this get-up all about?
Are you not familiar with your French wave cinema?
Of course I am.
Oh, then you should know exactly what I am.
I see the waves right there.
No explanation required.
Exactly.
All right, I think we have a few more people here.
Oh, some kind of ape man. What do you have to say for yourself? Very convincing. I think he might really be Simeon. Very good. That's dedication right there.
He reminds me of a better-looking Freak Slice, I have to say.
I think Freak Slice could take some fashion lessons.
Hello! Hello, Gauntly. It is me, Glorious Leader.
Hey, Glorious Leader. You're looking a little shaggy there. Come
Oh,
on.
yes. I heard about your funny celebration last year, and I figured I would try and come this year. And I am Unglorious Peasant. I dress up as funny peasant from Badlands to do this celebration however you do it.
Very good. It's Topsy-Turvy Day.
Yes. I try very hard to fill my role. I say, no, Glorious Leader, please, we need more bread. We're really hungry. Or please don't recruit my son. Or please don't demolish my house for a highway. Yes? It's funny.
Certainly convincing.
Yes. I enjoy this holiday.
Come and get some candy there from... Although actually our that was a false alarm because I said is still off limits due to the official condemnation. I am sorry that I invited you to partake. We'll get there though, once we prove ourselves. And you're helping us do that and we appreciate it. Who else is out there?
Hello.
Hello. I came for the party. I see it has not started.
Yes, we've hit a bit of a snag.
Oh dear.
But we're working through it. We'll get there.
Excellent.
What's the costume all about?
I am pretending to be a human.
Oh. I totally believe it.
Excellent.
Most frightening one we've seen yet, indeed.
Whoa.
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 I'm Blizzard Wizard. I do believe we've met before. And as you may know, I have a
cool to see you.
It is cool to see you. As you may know, I have a particular affinity for the cool, and as thus, I have a particular affinity for ice cream. And because I like ice cream, I'm a cow, because cows bring ice cream in a sort of way. You catch my drift?
That's what I hear.
Yep.
Don't get many cows down here. We got to import our cheese from the moon.
Well, I can help you out with that.
Excellent. Now we're set.
That's quite the motley crew we have here, wouldn't you say?
It is a motley, gauntly, ghostly crew. And I think we're on our way to having a great Halloween. Let's see, maybe that phone will ring. Maybe if we listen hard and listen real good, the phone will ring.
Please.
Because Inspector Borloff will be so won over by how great our Halloween celebration is turning out to be.
Come on, Inspector.
It remains silent. So, guess we're gonna have to try something else. What do you think we should try now?
Well, maybe things will heat up once the party starts. Perhaps in the meantime we can watch a little something.
That's a good idea. I mean, it's a horror host program. We gotta host something. So, sure. Here's Popeye in Fright to the Finish, a very Halloween appropriate and Halloween dedicated
short for you now. Enjoy.
And from these ingredients, the witches brew their magic potions. Those who partake of this potent liquid will become imbued with an unearthly spirit. But woe to the unfortunate disbeliever, for an evil spell shall be cast upon him. So beware this Halloween Eve, when the earth will be haunted by spooks, ghosts, and hobgoblins.
Olive, there ain't no such things. They're just figmentations of the imaginations.
Pardon me, folks, but it's way past my bedtime.
Sorry you has to go, chum. Good night, Pluto. Boy, oh boy, I thought he'd never leave.
There's someone at the door.
Good evening. Is this the olive oil residence?
Popeye! There's a headless man at the door!
There ain't no such camino. Olive and her stupid stishkins. Why, it's nothing but a jack-o'-lantern, Olive. I'll get you some water, Olive. Here's your glass of water, Olive.
Oh, thank you.
Olive, there's nothing like a cool drink of water to revive your spirits. Olive! Olive, is that you? I didn't recognize you without your skin on.
Get out of this house at once, you hobgoblin! Popeye! So you're the one that's been horrorizing me. Get out and stay out!
Now there's a girlfriend for you. So long, chump. I gotta protect Olive from those nasty old hobgoblins.
Oh! It's you, Bluto!
Yeah, Olive. I thought you might want some company.
So, that's Bluto's scheme. I think I'll do some spooking myself. Just what I need.
And you don't have to be afraid of ghosts while I'm around. Hey!
So we had been planning to have a proper party, but of course, as everything in the crypt is officially condemned at the moment, that includes our party supplies. So instead, we've kind of settled into having a bit of a powwow here, because we got to do some heavy thinking. And you know, I can't help but think that there's got to be something here worthwhile that'll prove that we deserve the right to broadcast here. I mean, where else is this degree of quality horror host content coming from anyway? That they hold us to such a high standard, that pumpkins are such a necessity. There's got to be some way that we can balance it out.
I know I've experienced some particularly ghoulish times here in the crypt. Perhaps we can think about what some of the most wonderful and terrible times in this crypt that we've had.
A noble goal.
I, for one, remember when we had a funeral for a most glorious bouncy horse. It was a sad day, but I felt like I learned a lot about life and death and the glories of making the most of your time.
Yes, I particularly enjoyed our last adventure where we went sailing with Ogrot. That was a particularly fun time for me.
Yeah, we found some treasure out on the high seas.
Yes, we did. That was very cool.
Cool, you say? Ha ha! I remember when we went camping. The first time I ever met you, my dear friends here at Count Gauntly's Horrors from the public domain. It's in the title, folks. How could you say this is not a show worthy of constant airing? It should be the only show that is on this channel, I swear.
Hear, hear.
Agreed. I remember the time that the whole crypt flooded and was turned into an aquarium. Only no one could film it because it was an aquarium.
And honestly, when I think back through all the years and all the adventures, I can't imagine why anyone would want this to stop. I mean, this is one of the few shows on television that really gets people to think. I mean, take that episode where we talked about politics, for example. Honestly, where are you going to find something like that? I gave my perspectives on democracy, and the glorious leader, who I do not agree with at all, gave his perspectives on his form of government and all its dictatorships and all that. I mean, certainly there was plenty to see, a lot of fun, and a lot to be learned from it. I don't know why anyone would disagree with having something like that on a regular basis.
I believe that airing a show that explains democracy is very dangerous for all the viewers. But besides that, I recall very many terrible times that I've been on this show and seen some truly awful things. I remember watching several people eat some incredibly disgusting food, even for my tastes. And I remember seeing terrible shows involving that demonic force, which people call love, in February, trying to set up your servant with some strange other people. That was terrifying.
Yes, I think some good points have been made. It's a forum. It's a forum for public debate, for education, for reaching the masses. And we teach, we also horrify, we share these films, but we also share our actions, blending hearts and drinking soup beer, you know, these ghoulish delicacies that you see nowhere else. And that's it pretty much holds true for the whole program, I feel. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. You're feeling this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not like any other place. They say there's no place like home. There's no place like this home. Certainly, it's different from other homes because there's moldering things and there's glowy hands and large skeletons of all makes and models. Where else do you see it? I don't see it anywhere else. Does anyone else have any rousing memories of adventures which might win over Inspector Borloff to renew our license, put us back on the air? Anyone? One more.
I just wanted to say that among all the adventures and education that we have, I mean, when I think about it, we actually set a lot of records. I mean, remember that time we climbed that mountain? I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody has ever done that in ages, and I don't think anyone's ever going to repeat that again, so... Oh, of course, sorry, I forgot. That's just a daily occurrence for you, isn't it? But it's just delightful to think that there's a lot of firsts that are going on national television, and I would love to see that continue.
It's a feat that's difficult to replicate in a studio, to be sure, climbing a mountain. You don't see it much.
I, for one, remember the time that Ogrot professed his love for Rust, and that other time that we had Bill Murray and the Minotaur into the crypt. Those were 2 wonderful days.
Yeah, pretty much equal in my mind. You know, the Valentine's Day episode, the Bill Murray and the Labyrinth. Pretty good, both high quality. Both favorites. We've been to the Wild West, the midget Wild West.
That's right, and we shrunk.
That's right. We've thought small. Maybe, who knows? The sky's the limit. If we go back in the air, maybe someday we think big. Maybe. That seems ambitious, but it's always a possibility. You know, we've gone all these places, done all these things, and who's to say it wouldn't continue on in the future if we just had the freedom to do it?
Right.
And but you know what comes to my mind is that maybe there's something we still need to do that we haven't done yet. And that is the fact that, sure, we've gone out into the wilds, we've camped, we went to the volcano Mount Horror and felt the face blistering heat. But even if we journey out into the world and we see all these things like we have, it's always been to take the lessons that we learn out in the world and bring them back here to the crypt. But I'm thinking maybe what we need to do to really prove our value is to take the lessons of the crypt and bring them to the world.
Inspiring words indeed.
Yes, I agree. I think an invasion of neighboring countries would be a great idea, and to start indoctrinating the young with all of your beliefs. That way you have greater allies in the future to come.
Proselytizing, that's what I'm talking about. So what I'm thinking we should all do is kind of split up, go our separate ways, and we're going to kind of spread the Gauntly gospel. You're going to go out and you're going to share, your DVDs, your trappings, your still photo pictographs, and you're just going to let people know that this is here, and we are raring to go and share our Halloween spooktacular spirit with everybody. All right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to go into the field, and we're going to share Gauntly with everybody.
Share it.
I, for one, am heading to the Halloween capital of the world, Sleepy Hollow, New York. Now, you viewers will be joining me, but the rest of the crypt-dwellers will be going out on missions of their own, because we got to canvass this joint and make sure people get the word that Gauntly is on the town.
In 1/2 mile, exit right, then keep right.
Well, you know what they say, when in Rome, so I'm taking this opportunity to make one extra side trip into Amityville.
Exit right, then keep right.
Here we go now into Amityville, New York. We're going to see the horror house, the site of the DeFeo murders, and the subsequent paranormal investigation, which inspired the movie, The Amityville Horror.
Take a ramp ahead, then turn right.
We should be getting close.
Turn right. In 2.5 miles, turn left.
Here we are on the street, turning onto Ocean Avenue.
Turn right.
There it is. I'll turn around to get one more pass.
In 800 feet, turn left.
We're gonna get one more pass just so you can see it a little bit better. It's got a distinctly gabled roof. Rather unusual, old-fashioned, of the time of its construction. So one more pass by so that you get a better look.
Then turn right. Turn right.
There it is. Right there. That's the Amityville Horror House. You saw it here, folks. There's a big private property sign right there in front, says no trespassing. But you gotta look here on Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. Amityville Horror House. Now on to our destination. Where we're headed next, you just might call the Halloween capital of the world. It's Sleepy Hollow. Final resting place of the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Washington Irving. So our first stop is going to be the famous Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. Be there shortly. Here we're coming up on a sign now for Terrytown and Sleepy Hollow. There is a little valley, or rather lap of land, among high hills, which is one of the quietest places in the whole world. A small brook glides through it, with just murmur enough to lull one to repose, and the occasional whistle of a quail or tapping of a woodpecker is almost the only sound that ever breaks in upon the uniform tranquility. A drowsy, dreamy influence seems to hang over the land and to pervade the very atmosphere. Some say that the place was bewitched by a high German doctor during the early days of the settlement. Others, that an old Indian chief, the prophet or wizard of his tribe, held his powwows there before the country was discovered by Master Henrik Hudson. Certain it is, the place still continues under the sway of some witching power that holds a spell over the minds of the good people, causing them to walk in a continual reverie. They are given to all kinds of marvelous beliefs, are subject to trances and visions, and frequently see strange sights and hear music and voices in the air. The whole neighborhood abounds with local tales, haunted spots, and twilight superstitions. Stars shoot and meteors glare oftener across the valley than in any other part of the country, and the nightmare with her ninefold seems to make it the favorite scene of her gambols. The dominant spirit, however, that haunts this enchanted region and seems to be commander-in-chief of all the powers of the air, is the apparition of a figure on horseback, without a head. It is said by some to be the ghost of a Hessian trooper whose head had been carried away by a cannonball in some nameless battle during the Revolutionary War, and who is ever and anon seen by the country folk hurrying along in the gloom of night as if on the wings of the wind. His haunts are not confined to the valley, but extend at times to the adjacent roads, and especially to the vicinity of a church at no great distance. Indeed, certain of the most authentic historians of those parts
who have been careful in collecting and collating the floating facts concerning the spectre, allege that the body of the trooper, having been buried in the churchyard, the ghost rides forth to the scene of battle in nightly quest of his head, and that the rushing speed with which he sometimes passes along the hollow like a midnight blast is owing to his being belated and in a hurry to get back to the churchyard before daybreak. The sequestered situation of this church seems always to have made it a favorite haunt of troubled spirits. It stands on a knoll surrounded by locust trees and lofty elms, from among which its decent whitewashed walls shine modestly forth, like Christian purity beaming through the shades of retirement.
The old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow still stands. Established 1685, so it was already old by the time Washington Irving wrote the story in 1820. And it's even older now, because time goes forward. And in addition to the church, the cemetery is still here as well, and there's some famous personages buried there. We're gonna go check it out. And there's the church, up there atop the hill, looking much the same as it did back in Ichabod's day, and Washington Irving's. The old Dutch church at Sleepy Hollow. And there's some old Dutch people up there on that hill too.
To look upon its grass-grown yard, where the sunbeams seem to sleep so quietly, one would think that there, at least, the dead might rest in peace.
Behind me is the churchyard of the old Dutch church, the supposed burial ground of the Hessian horseman who became headless. That's why he had to get buried, because it's hard to stay alive for very long if you haven't got a head. But somehow he managed it, because he's still looking for it. He comes up out of the ground and he wanders around, and brought so much attention to this little spot that people are still coming today. Even though the church is old, everybody's in it's old, and the town's old. But that headless guy, man, he's what's bringing us back.
Over a deep black part of the stream, not far from the church, was formerly thrown a wooden bridge. The road that led to it and the bridge itself were thickly shaded by overhanging trees, which cast a gloom about it even in the daytime, but occasioned a fearful darkness at night. Such was one of the favorite haunts of the Headless Horseman, and the place where he was most frequently encountered.
The Headless Horseman Bridge, described by Irving in The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, formerly spanned the stream at this point. I'm standing here atop what was once the Sleepy Hollow Bridge. It is again, but it's not the original. This was the site at which Ichabod crossed the brook. If you look over here, you'll see the Babbling Brook is right down there. This, I believe, is the same Babbling Brook, if not the same bridge. And Ichabod crossed the brook at this point, and he believed that the curse was going to cause the horseman to disappear, but it seemingly did not work. He was still killed by a pumpkin. But hopefully we'll have better luck crossing right now. Come on.
No signs of life occurred near him, but occasionally the melancholy chirp of a cricket, or perhaps the guttural twang of a bullfrog from a neighboring marsh, as if sleeping uncomfortably and turning suddenly in his bed. All the stories of ghosts and goblins that he had heard in the afternoon now came crowding upon his recollection. The night grew darker and darker, the stars seemed to sink deeper in the sky, and driving clouds occasionally hid them from his sight. He had never felt so lonely and dismal. He was, moreover, approaching the very place where many of the scenes of the ghost stories had been laid. Just at this moment a plashy tramp by the side of the bridge caught the sensitive ear of Ichabod. In the dark shadow of the grove on the margin of the brook he beheld something huge, misshapen, black, and towering. It stirred not, but seemed gathered up in the gloom, like some gigantic monster ready to spring upon the traveler. There was something in the moody and dogged silence of this pertinacious companion that was mysterious and appalling. It was soon fearfully accounted for. On mounting a rising ground which brought the figure of his fellow traveler in relief against the sky, gigantic in height and muffled in a cloak, Ichabod was horror-struck on perceiving that he was headless. But this horror was still more increased on observing that the head, which should have rested on his shoulders, was carried before him on the pommel of the saddle. His terror rose to desperation. He rained a shower of kicks and blows upon Gunpowder, his horse, hoping by a sudden movement to give his companion the slip. But the spectre started full jump with him. Away then they dashed through thick and thin, stones flying and sparks flashing at every bound. Ichabod's flimsy garments fluttered in the air as he stretched his long, lank body away over his horse's head in the eagerness of his flight. They had now reached the road which turns off to Sleepy Hollow. This road leads through a sandy hollow shaded by trees for about a quarter of a mile, where it crosses the bridge famous in goblin story, and just beyond swells the green knoll on which stands the whitewashed church. An opening in the trees now cheered him with the hopes that the church bridge was at hand. The wavering reflection of a silver star in the bosom of the brook told him that he was not mistaken. He saw the walls of the church dimly glaring under the trees beyond. He recollected the place where Brombone's ghostly competitor had disappeared. If I can but reach that bridge, Ichabod thought, I am safe. Just then he heard the black steed panting and blowing close behind him. He even fancied that he felt its hot breath. Another convulsive kick in the ribs, and old Gunpowder sprang upon the bridge. He thundered over the resounding planks. He gained the opposite side, and now Ichabod cast a look behind to see if his pursuer should vanish, according to rule, in a flash of fire and brimstone. Just then he saw the goblin rising in his stirrups, and in the very act of hurling his head at him. Ichabod endeavored to dodge the horrible missile, but too late. It encountered his cranium with a tremendous crash. He was tumbled headlong into the dust, and Gunpowder the black steed and the goblin rider passed by like a whirlwind. The next morning the old horse was found, without his saddle, and with his bridle under his feet, soberly cropping the grass at his master's gate. In one part of the road leading to the church was found the saddle, trampled in the dirt. The tracks of horses' hooves, deeply dented in the road and evidently at furious speed, were traced to the bridge, beyond which, on the bank of a broad part of the brook, where the water ran deep and black, was found the hat of the unfortunate Ichabod, and close beside it, a spattered pumpkin. The bridge became more than ever an object of superstitious awe, and that may be the reason why the road has been altered of late years so as to approach the church by the border of the mill pond. The old country wives, who are the best judges of these matters, maintain to this day that Ichabod was spirited away by the headless horseman of Sleepy Hollow.
Here we are, Count Gauntly's, broadcasting from the Halloween capital of the world, Sleepy Hollow, New York, here on the steps of the old Dutch church. The bridge and the babbling brook are over there. The churchyard is over there. This is where it all went down. The Headless Horseman, Ichabod Crane, Brombones and Katrina Van Tassel. This was ground zero. Even back before all the Irish immigrants came in and made Halloween a thing. This is like Spook Central, right here. Feel like I'm getting back to my roots. Oh, well, that was quite an adventure. Halloween capital of the world, like I said. What could possibly be more spooktacular? And yet, things seem unchanged here. I wonder if anybody else had any more luck than, hey, you're back. Good to see you.
Still condemned?
Seems to be. I guess the ban hasn't been lifted.
Unbelievable. I spent 1,000 nights in Arabia talking about the horrors of Gauntly. I won an arm wrestling match with a goldfish who told the entire cast of Finding Nemo that all about how terrible Count Gauntly and his horrors in his public domain were. And still, Still, we're condemned. Oh, this is harrowing.
Good effort. Strong effort.
Hello, Gauntly. Might I say it was nice to get away. I spent my time at a farm up in Indiana studying the ways of the cows because I figured maybe the problem was our costumes weren't convincing enough, and I figured I needed to act the part. And might I say, the experiences were quite moving.
Very reasonable. Yes. You're a fine, upstanding youth. But I see some more folks trickling in back from their missions.
Are we still not good enough to remove the tape?
So it would seem, despite the veracity of your excellent peasant garb and our verisimilitudinous cow.
What more must we do to be horrible?
I've got some ideas brewing, but only as a last resort. What news?
I have returned from telling many people of the horrors of Gauntly. They were particularly disgusted by your face.
Good. Yes. As well they should be, but it obviously wasn't enough. I mean, what could we possibly still do that we haven't done yet? To prove that we're down with Halloween. We're all about Halloween. This is the one time of year our signal should be broadcasting strongest. That's what I think. But I feel like some haven't returned yet. Must be some travelers. So we had to broadcast.
It's me, Pumpkin. I hope beyond hope that maybe now we can finally bring a new era to Gauntly with these pumpkins. I mean, it's Halloween, for goodness sake.
Jack-o'-lanterns, that's what we were missing. We got some problem solvers here. Thank you, Freak Slice.
I'd like to think so.
Yes.
And Thelonious as well.
Yep.
We found these in a very rare land, rich with pumpkins and artists who carved them. I don't know how we managed, but we got them to put our likenesses on these sacred. Are they vegetables or fruits? I don't. Either way.
They're pumpkins.
You're the nature guy.
They are pumpkins, and we found the best. So if this isn't good enough, I don't know what will be.
Well, get up there. Let's light those up. Here, pop those tops off. They're like our pumpkins topless. No, let's light them up. There we go.
Don't burn yourself.
Yeah, you're all about fire safety, right?
I am fire safety, I am nature, I am everything. Oh, you break.
Oh, it's quite all right.
All right.
Believe me, I know a lot about getting a fire started.
I trust you, Thelonious. After our travels, I feel like you are a brother of mine. There we go. Ha!
Those are excellent.
So, I guess we could expect a call any day now, right? Any minute, even.
Yeah, like any time now. Speak of the phone devil.
The phone devil has arrived.
There it goes. Let's dust this thing off. Hello? You're willing to give us a second chance? But we have to really make it count. Ooh.
Nice pun.
All right. Yes. We will do that. We won't let you down, sir.
Well?
What did he say?
All right. Well, Inspector Borloff just called back. He says that he's going to perform a reevaluation.
Yes.
So we have another chance. And we might just be back on the air. But we have to give it our best shot. I mean, this is our last chance. We got to really make it count. And so, I think my fears may come to pass. The one thing we haven't proven yet this episode is just how horrible we can be. We had passing reference to those brains and hearts and things that we've eaten in the past. But I think we might have to outstrip even those accomplishments in sheer horribleness.
Do you have something up your sleeve?
Outstrip even soup beer?
I fear it may be so. We're going to have to pass that final barrier of taste and decorum and sink to the true depths of depravity.
Ooh.
And Inspector Borloff, you just better like it, because that is what you've driven us to. This is your doing, sir. Now,
That crazy guy.
come on, everybody. We're gonna hook this up.
Let's do it. Spook 'em.
It's gonna be gross. By the light of the silvery moon,
Of the silvery moon,
I want to spoon.
I want to spoon.
To my honey love's tune I'll croon. Honeymoon,
Honeymoon, honeymoon.
keep it shining in June.
Keep it shining in June.
Your silvery beams will bring love's dreams. We'll be cuddling soon.
We'll be cuddling soon.
By the silvery moon.
By the silvery moon.
Ha! Mellifluous. Wait, I think I hear a phone call. Let me get this. Just a sec. Yes. Hello? I knew that would get him. Ha! It was just horrible enough. Yes. We're back on the air. Let's go back to the crypt.
We're back!
All right, the ban has been lifted. Let's take the stage. Go. Be gone, foul borders and tape. Get it out of here.
Joy, my friends. Revel.
Has no place here in a Gauntly Halloween.
No place at all.
Now, once again, the crypt is ours. You deserve a party there in your neck of the woods too. And so, Freak Slice will provide the music. As I say, as always, pleasant nightmares and a very happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Take it away. Whew. Oh, whoa. Hey, Ogrot. What's going on?
Ogrot will carve perfect pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean they're looking pretty good. They're looking a little bit the same, but I'm sure.
This is Ogrot 1046th try.
Oh, so they're not even the same. Okay. Well, here's the thing, Ogrot. Halloween has actually come and gone. This is the end.
No, it cannot be.
No, I mean, it's okay though, because it was a good one. But obviously it would have been stronger with you there. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. See, because you and your effort were here working on these excellent pumpkins, these exquisite works of art here. And that's what really counts. We had a good harvest festival, good Halloween. I'm sure the dead are pleased, and you were a part of it. And so, you know what we're going to do now?
What?
We are going to have some pumpkin beer. From a non-specific brand that's totally okay in the public domain. And we are going to bid you at home a happy Halloween as well. Cover up those brand labels, be sure.
Ogrot will drink his sorrows.
Yes. Happy Halloween to you. Happy Halloween to you. And we'll see you again next Halloween. By which time I'm sure the pumpkins will be perfect. Right, Ogrot?
Mm-hmm.
This sun goes down, the moon comes up, and here come the frights. Here come the frights of Halloween night. They're haunting, it's daunting. They carry flashlights. They carry flashlights on this Halloween night. If you hear a rapping on your door, prepare yourself for a dreadful fright on Halloween night. Halloween night. Halloween night. Halloween night. Werewolves are around, ghosts make no sound. Gremlins are creeping and monsters are sleeping. Skeletons are dancing while the vampires bite on Halloween night. On Halloween